Hey guys, all right, we are here, and I think, what are we on, the 16th, um, 15th day of the Austere August, where I'm using the same gear every day. Chiseled Face Midnight Stag is the soap um, from the Groomatorium, and they make the Chiseled Face brand, as well as they are responsible for the tuggy bar as well as a stubble buster. And Chiseled Face, though, is probably their biggest seller, I would imagine. It's still extremely active. And I have the Splash and Cologne for that same scent. And this is an older label I got at an auction. Enjoying using it. A little bit special for this month. The Connaught shaving Omega bristle, and it's faux jade handle. Omega is the model. The model number for this one is 011842. And carved Christopher Bradley with a B plate, solid bar, 3¼ inch Gladius handle. I like the normal 3¼ inch handle as well. I finally got a hold of the Gladius a while back, put it on, and just haven't managed to go back to the other one. I need to go back and, see if I like it better or not. It's definitely has a different artistic look to it than the default one. And then the Nacet blade. This will be use number 422. And you can see the etching that I did with the number 1 there, and a crude letter N up there. Old Sharpie dot right there, which was its identifier for quite a long time. And then right down here, you can see a bend in the blade, a crinkle right there. And then, yeah, there you can see kind of the curve that's been there for quite some time. I think use 225. It's starting to get so long ago that I don't. Someday I'll forget which number it was. So I'm sorry, the vantage point is a little high today. And I left my suction cup bathroom mirror camera mount somewhere else, and so I will have to find another way to do it. Camera's just resting on a towel bar right there, so at least we've got that right. So we're all set to go here, and get my face wet. I do have my 40 milliliters of water here. I think I'm going to try again for the 5-second load. Yesterday I loaded without as much care as I should, and ended up going over that. So let's try 5 seconds again today. So here's my soap, looking fine. You can see that scoop that I did a while back when I was just doing a 1/4 teaspoon to see how much lather I would get. All right, so let us pull out the knot and give it some shakes. It holds quite a bit of water in it. Okay, so a true 5-second load. I have to watch the clock here because it goes by quickly. And there we go. As you can see, we're not talking a lot of appearance of lather on the brush. And I have been, whenever I've been doing these short loads, if there has been any kind of slurry, I have poured that into the lather bowl, and there isn't really much to speak of, just a few drops. So that's not an issue here with this very short load. And we're halfway through the month. Thank you for joining me. I know my viewership is down, and that's perfectly understandable. I'm not bringing new equipment to the table, and so this is kind of the opportunity for you faithful few to for us to hang out together. All right, let me get my face wet, and then I'll start working up that lather. We're looking at about a 24-hour growth, so it should be a more kind experience. The other shaves of the month, you've kind of seen the lather develop, and so I don't feel too bad that you're not able to watch it come together for a few days here. As usual, it starts off quite bubbly. Yesterday I just dumped a bunch of water in there and just worked on it, and it started off as a thin slurry, but it fixed itself without a problem. Matter of fact, I had to keep adding a little bit more water, and that's normal. So what we had in the brush has worked out to this pretty dry lather. I'll go ahead and do the same as before. Put in about 15 milliliters of water, a little bit more. And so it's you've got that dry stuff now, but there's some wet stuff in the bottom, and that's okay. Just work it to combine. And you know what I might do today? I might give this guy an extra long workout. So right now, he's very liquidy, and that's okay because he just hasn't been worked very long. So what I'm going to do, since you can't see it anyway, I am just going to keep working this lather. I am going to mix this for, I'm going to do 5 minutes. Most people are not going to do that. Most people don't have that kind of time, and that's okay. I'm just curious. If I mix it for 5 minutes, am I going to end up with some kind of better lather? Is it going to be less airy? Is it going to be more creamy? Is it going to have some better attribute than if I have been stopping like I normally have? So that just an extra long time of mixing, what's that going to give me? Maybe nothing, but that's what today is going to be. So I'll report back to you guys in about 5 minutes. Well, here we are, 5 minutes later, right? Yep. And the lather doesn't look any different. It doesn't seem any more creamy. I did have to add water multiple times to it. I wonder if taking that kind of time, I was encouraging a little bit of water evaporation. And so then I had to replenish the water. Probably not, but maybe. So let's take a feel of it. This is kind of a moist hand that I've had to rinse a few times. Feels pretty much the same as before. Just a nice slickness, not super creamy. It's a very well hydrated lather. Still kind of see micro bubbles, so at least with this soap, it doesn't really appear that a good bit of time working the lather is gonna net you something noticeable. All right, so let me get my face wet and we can lather up that first pass. Get a little bit more soap, or lather rather. That extra work on the lather probably profited me some in helping this brush to break in more. That's good. This is a very wet lather. But I've got lots of it, so it's just not really a problem to reach back in and kind of replenish the supply on my face. Okay, let's just kind of spread out a nice even coating, And I got a feeling this is going to be on the wet side of perfect for me. Maybe even on the too wet side, who knows? Razor is moving effectively and quickly, so the soap is giving me a nice lather that is doing its job regarding slickness. And there we go. Let's rinse. And since this lather is a little bit on the wet side, I dabbed my face dry with my towel after the rinse. And so that way my face will not be contributing any more wetness to the lather and might actually suck just a little bit of it out. And remember, this is a 5-second load here. Not very much time was used. And look, I just put on the second pass and I've still got this much. Cross grain now. I can usually tell right here on this stroke because I'm having to pull it across my skin. Gravity is not able to help me with pressure. I have to manage the pressure myself. And if my lather is too wet, then that's where it kind of skips. And it has been doing that this shave. And I've got nice, it may be a kind of a thin lather, but see, I can feel that slickness. It's around, it's there. A too dry lather, it would be stopping my fingers from moving. I experimented with that earlier in the month, and that just excellent level of slickness. This is a good quality soap, and so it stays very slick even though it's a little overhydrated. And another rinse. And these rinses are just kind of single splashes of water, working it in just a little bit, and then this particular shave I am removing the excess water via a towel. So yes, if I wasn't trying to marathon this blade, I'd be able to do this in 3 passes, that's for sure, instead of doing 4, 4.5. But I like my brush so much, I like the shaving experience so much, I don't really mind a couple extra passes. And that guy right there was the 3rd pass, and I can feel my face. The first 2 passes took care of kind of the rough stuff, and that 3rd one got me to where it feels pretty smooth. So we'll just whip up a 4th pass here, and you can tell these passes are not taking too long. I just whiz right through them. So this is a 4th pass of lather, and I've still got more left. 5 seconds of loading. That's crazy. Even if I backed off with the water and had a little less lather, it would still be plenty, right? Finally got around to answering a couple of older messages, rather YouTube comments. Ivermectin was saying, was mentioning on one of my Perazzo videos that Perazzo came out with a cream that was labeled as for single edge. And I haven't tried that one yet. Now my guess is it's probably not going to be amazing. I mean, it's still a cream, and I haven't really met a cream that competed too well with the good crops and the good hardened soaps. You see, still got that wonderful slickness. However, I do think I'll try single edge variant at some point. Maybe I can find a sample of it. It's a cream only. It seemed like it came when I was looking at the ItalianBarber.com website. And they had it. There are tubes of it, kind of a normal 100 milliliter tube, and then a big 275 milliliter bladder, you know, and then a little jar of it. Just $10. So maybe someday I'll spring for it, but I don't know. We'll see. I'm not really in a hurry. And so we're just going to do that against the grain pass right there, because the rest of the face is pretty, I'm pretty happy with it. I did switch and go kind of against the grain, or cross grain from the opposite direction on the previous pass, so hopefully that has prepared me. I'm doing a little bit of skin tightening just to have a nice flat area so that we don't have any skin wrinkles pop up and the blade snag on them, you know. And if I feel like I want to hit an area again, just reach back into the tub. And there we go. And I haven't, for this month, I pretty much haven't had any irritation that lasted past its own pass. And that's terrific, right? And let's rinse. Face feels great. Nice close cut. Sure, takes an extra pass or two. That's fine with me. And about maybe 370 and on, I've had to add a little bit of that against the grain work because, you know, the blade is just smoothing out. Still very sharp. I could still take it out and cut myself with it if I was careless. But it is dulled enough to where it is starting to require some extra strategies. So I'm going to flip it, I would think, you know, within the next couple months, I would guess. And then see what happens on the other side. Tell you what, it might be habit so much that when I do decide to flip it the next day, I may go back to the way I've done it the first, side A. You know, it may be hard to stick with side B because it's been so much of a habit. All right, well, there we go. We did 4.5 passes and pretty much just the right amount of lather left over. And I'm happy with that. It is, you know, 5 seconds might be the optimum amount. And so maybe tomorrow I'll try 5 seconds with a, without all that extra work trying to, you know, churn up the lather into something better. I think other bases may have more of an advantage if you spend some time working the lather a little bit more. Maybe this one is just the one that doesn't. So let's do some cleanup. And there we go. After a towel stropping, He's, I think, pretty much looking this way after every towel stropping so far. And notice we don't quite have a flat top. He does have a little bit of curve to him, but that just helps that splay, that tips there to really spread out and feel good on your face. And so I think that particular profile design is well suited for this brush's configuration. It's loft settings and it's not diameter. We ended up using 24 milliliters of water during this shave, and that's more than when I was loading for 8 seconds and more. And maybe part of that is because it was, number one, overwatered just a little bit, and number two, I worked it for so long that maybe we had some evaporation. Not sure about that. Maybe we just got a more complete workout where the soap that was in the brush really got mixed in with what was in the bowl. Maybe we just had a more complete mixture. I'm not exactly sure, but 23 milliliters of water. All right, it's time for post-shave stuff, and this is the splash, the aftershave. Some people call it aftershave lotion or just aftershave. What a good scent. It's not hard to use it all month when you enjoy it so much. And then I have no problem moving on to the EDP. And something is called, oh hey, this is Sunday. So three per arm. Now the challenge just says 3 total, but I'm doubling it up just to be extra staggy for this month. There's some guys who are spraying it all over their bodies, you know, like 30 times or something like that. I'm not quite that. I'm not quite to that point. I love my family. All right. Feeling pretty good, smelling great. Happy shave, comfortable, no irritation, close shave. So there we go. It's kind of what we're getting all month, and it's continuing today. So tomorrow I think maybe I'll just try kind of more of a normal 5-second load, build up that lather, and see how that goes. Probably just fine, but you know, it's good to gradually ease down your usage, your load time to find that kind of optimal one. And again, that's consecutive uses. It could be that 10 or 12 seconds of loading is what I need if I were to put this soap aside, come back to it in 3 months. It's different than if you use it every day. That's why hard soaps like Mitchell's Wool Fat, Tabac, fine accoutrements, some people regard some of those as difficult to load, especially the first 2. Williams Mug Soap, especially Williams, and Mitchell's Wool Fat especially are problematic sometimes, but I think when people use them over and over consecutively, then they start to act a lot more friendly and they have more success with them. All right, guys, well, I feel like a short guy. I'm so low in the frame here. Sorry, my camera, it'll just fall over if I tilt it anymore. But there we go. That's today's shave. It's late. I'm going to get to bed. You guys take care. Hope there's been something in this video to help you out. Good night.